Hey, what's up guys? It's back here with another video, MVP Baseball 2005. I was getting some messages in eBay and even directly here on YouTube. People were asking me about sliders and what kind of things I did, kind of how they work, different things like that. So I wanted to take some time out and shoot a little video here for you guys. If you're a little bit familiar with sliders and use them, hopefully you can still get a little something out of it. Because I really had to do some research just to figure out how the different sliders worked. If you're new to this, hopefully this really helps you out, because some of the things you turn up or turn down can have the opposite effect of maybe what you think. And that's how it was for me in the beginning. So I really had to find some good sources online to make sure I was doing it the right way. So hopefully I can help clarify some of this stuff for you. And I'm going to go ahead and put some information in print below the video to as a supplement to this. Hopefully that'll clear it up. So usually what I do when I start a new dynasty of MVP, it may have been a situation where I haven't played in 6 months or 9 months. So I'll start on rookie, play a few series just to get warmed up, go to pro, do the same thing, and then move up to All-Star where I ultimately stay. I don't play on MVP anymore, but I found that All-Star had a good way. When I do the sliders, the games kind of turn out how I hope they are. Competitive, but not 1-0 games. You get some 5-4 games, some 7-5 games, things like that. So that's what I look for when I was trying to put together sliders that worked for me. Was I didn't want to be a guy who was sitting there winning 1-0 all the time, losing 2-1, knowing if you get behind by 2 runs, you're pretty much done. And who knows, maybe that's because I stink. So maybe you guys are a lot better off than I am. I'm decent at the game, probably better at being that guy who edits and sells the rosters than I am at playing it. But regardless, I found that usually on pro, even though I have the sliders all set here the same, usually on pro I didn't really need it except to maybe bump the computer's hitting up a little bit. Hitting wise, it seemed pretty easy on pro to go ahead and hit. But when you bump up to All-Star, I noticed there's quite a bit of difference. So this is what I did here. You can see it on your screen. These things are pretty self-explanatory. And I have a Word document here on my computer where I'm looking at kind of some of the explanations of these things as I go. So when I go through them, I'll try to give you an explanation if it doesn't seem clear. Pitcher fatigue here, 5, they'll fatigue faster. I noticed even if a guy has only 70 or 80 stamina, he's able to throw 120 pitches. So you want it to be realistic. If a guy's got 80 stamina, he should be throwing 80 or 90 pitches, right? Bullpen fatigue, faster fatigue in the bullpen on this particular one. I have it at 3. What I noticed when I play is sometimes the computer would just have a guy in the bullpen for 3-4 innings at a time. That's not realistic. In real major leagues, they'll get up and then they'll sit down if it looks like they need to sit down. A guy's not going to be up there 3 or 4 innings throwing 80 pitches in the bullpen. Bullpen fatigue rate, or excuse me, grace. Sorry, covered rate already. Bullpen fatigue grace. This is, I turn this down. What this one does is it takes less time for the pitchers to warm up to get to being 100% ready. That's just something I do, like to get them ready quicker. You could probably even leave it at 0, but the main ones I did here were the hitting ones. And like I said, I just found that with my skill level, I ended up getting in a lot of these low-scoring games, and win or lose, it's really, to me, it's no fun to sit there and know that you have to hold the computer to no runs or 1 run every game just to have a chance. And like I said, maybe that's because I stink. maybe I'm too old now, older than I was 7 years ago when I first started really doing the rosters hardcore the first time around. But I cranked, as you can see here, I cranked it way up, and I cranked the computers up even higher because I think you guys know this, the game is a lot easier to pitch than it is to hit. So I wanted to crank the offense up a lot, but still have the kind of increased speed and skill level that you get at All-Star versus Pro. So I cranked those numbers up, you can see there. You could probably even jack it up a little bit higher for the computer. If you find that you're still dominating and shutting them down and winning by a lot, crank it up some more, make the games more interesting. Same thing here with bunting. Always had difficulty doing it, even if a guy had a really good bunt ability. So I cranked that up. You can see here at 5. Foul ball frequency, turn that down. Less foul balls. CPU swing frequency, turn that up. A lot of times they'll just sit there and take pitches, which is fine if it's a ball, but if it's a strike, I want them hacking. Like I said, I want action, I want the scoring to happen. I want quick games, or I want action, I want hits, I want runs. Another thing I did to try to increase the scoring was I put these at negative, so this will decrease what you see here for all of the speed. Our outfield speed, their outfield speed, our infield speed, their infielder speed as well. Guys are getting to the ball too quick, making way too many diving plays. Not enough doubles and triples in the gap. So turn the speed down, kind of open up the offense, more doubles, more triples, more action. I like to keep it equal when it makes sense. I'm not that guy that has to go 159-3 during a season and sweep through the World Series. I'm fine playing 7 games in a World Series, as long as I win. But the main thing for me is just realism, fairness, just having fun with it. And that's different than when I was younger. I'll go off topic. Way too many thrown paddles, but I grew up and now I know that it's okay to lose. So anyway, getting back to it, throw speed, same thing, accuracy, decrease those just to create some more errors. And what you see here with this user catch error, if you're looking at that, let me scroll down on my document here real quick. Turning the number up actually creates more errors. So what I would notice is I'd go play the computer. You could go 5 or 10 games without an error. Turn that up, right? Just to, because it happens. Even professionals make errors. CPU catch effort, that one to me had mainly to do with them making all those diving catches, like I said, and robbing home runs left and right. Turn that down. It may seem like a drastic number, but you're not going to notice a huge difference. It's not like they don't do it anymore, which is what I thought when I kept adjusting it. Because I kept adjusting it, it seemed like it really wasn't making much of a difference until I finally hit this number. And I decided, okay, well, I think that's enough. CPU base running speed, turn theirs down a little, ours up. If you play on All-Star, you'll notice that even their runners, when they go to steal, you can have a 70 runner versus your runner who's a 90 speed, for instance, and they're able to steal bases easier than you. I don't mind them getting theirs, but a little realism. Another thing I had to do was turn that aggression up for them, really. And you can see here I have the negative for their steal speed. But I had to turn that aggression up just to make them run more. And you'll see here, that steal rate, the same thing. Even though they would have runners that are able to steal easier if you don't have these sliders. Like I said, a 70 runner versus my 90 runner, for instance. Even though they would steal easier, they wouldn't go that often. and so I wanted to create more action. So I turned that steal rate up for them. One thing I noticed was when you do go up to All-Star, that steal delay here that you see where I have these numbers at negative. Let me get to that on my document again to make sure I give you the right information here. Shorter time, the negative number is a shorter time of a delay for the time the pitcher starts his delivery to home to the time they make a break for second base or for third base. And again, it's to speed up the run game, just to get more things going on. All this stuff down here, meter difficulty, the injuries, I don't really mess with any of that because when I do my dynasty, I turn off the injuries, I turn off the suspensions, rain delays. I just turn all of that stuff off because I do keep the energy level and all of that stuff, but I turn this stuff off because I want the best players in the game all the time. I don't want to sit there and have Bryce Harper get injured and miss the season or, some ridiculous thing like that. Even if it's a team I'm not on and simulations are happening, I'll still turn that stuff off. I just want the best players playing all the time, and that's how the rosters are designed. For the best players to be playing and for the simulations to be generating the results you'd expect to see. Teams and players that are supposed to be good are good. And I like that the same way when I'm playing. But again, those are my sliders, guys. That's just what I use. I'll put the information up regarding what each one means. This is information I found online and it was really helpful. And I do set them for all, but I don't think you need it at the level. Say there's a level that you're dominating at. Say you dominate on rookie, and so you cranked it up to pro. You go back to rookie for a few games, you're probably not going to need it. But if you're comfortable on pro, I would say, and you're seeing those low scores and you're kind of bored and you want action, turn it up. Have some fun with these sliders. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you're doing. Again, another long video. I try not to do this, I swear. But anyway, take care, guys. Keep playing MVP. Enjoy it. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.